Okay, so this is my 2020 Harley Davidson Tri-Glide. I bought it July the 1st, 2020, and today's October the 1st. I got about 6,900 miles on it, and about 2,000 miles into it, I started riding and I started seeing things that I wanted to buy for accessories, and this video is just going to show you some of the accessories I bought. Okay, I will admit I've never really been a fan of Harley Davidsons. I bought a brand new 2004 Sportster one time, and I bought a 2016 Sportster. Didn't have them very long, but Harley does make a quality motorcycle, and they do make quality accessories for their motorcycles. But I like this motorcycle. When you crack the throttle open on this bike, you leap into the next stratosphere. It has a lot of power. And also what I like about it is I don't have to put my feet down anymore. And I'm not pushing a real heavy motorcycle around the garage anymore, wondering if I'm going to be tipping over. Or if you got your wife on the back, and you're stopped at a stop sign and she's moving around, you're doing this sort of thing and hoping that you don't fall over. This thing cures all that stuff. No feet down, the wife can move around all she wants back there. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the windshield. They normally come with about a 10-inch windshield, and I went out and bought a Harley Davidson brand 15-inch windshield. And the reason why I decided on a 15-inch windshield is that the 10-inch windshield was right at my eye level, and I was continually trying to look over it or under it, you know, or to the side. And you know, after about 2,000 miles of that stuff, I just told myself, you know what, I'm gonna get me a 15-inch windshield. Another thing that was going on was, because it was a 10-inch windshield, the air was coming over the top of it and it was buffeting my helmet a lot. And then I ended up putting this 15-inch windshield on and cut the buffeting down 95%. And the other 5% of buffeting came from the wind from the side. A side wind might hit me for a little while and it would buffet my helmet, or even the other side, it would come and buffet my helmet there. And another added bonus to having a 15-inch windshield is that when you're riding in the rain and you have a shield on your helmet, you have to clean it off. But with a 15-inch windshield, if you got a shield, you don't have to clean your helmet shield anymore. You let it all hit the windshield, and that windshield keeps you out of the elements. A friend of mine and I were riding the other day. We have communicators, and it was raining, and he was talking to me about he can't see. He was cleaning his shield off, and I just said to myself, whatever. You've heard it been said that for every action there is a reaction, and I found that to be true with this 15-inch windshield. Here's what was going on. When I'd be riding down the road and the sun was shining directly at me, I didn't have an issue. Or if the sun was behind me shining on me, I didn't have an issue. But when it was at the 1 o'clock position or the 3 o'clock position, or if the sun was behind me here at the 9 o'clock position, or back here at the 8 o'clock position, what would happen was it would shine on my chrome gas cap and my chrome button and my chrome ignition switch, and it would reflect into this windshield. It would take those three things would take up this whole windshield. Now, it was about a 10% bother. It didn't really bother me all that much. But over time, I thought, you know what, I'm going to try to black that out, because I kept putting my hand over it and it would go away. Okay, so I bought a flat black, and I recommend flat black everything if you ever do this, a flat black gas door, gas fuel door, and a flat black button, and as you can see, that's gloss, and a flat black ignition cover, which I don't even know if you can get, but that's gloss right there. But that cut down about 90% of the reflection in the windshield. Now, I still had slight reflection from this circle right here, chrome circle. It would, but you know, you couldn't hardly even see it. And then sometimes the sun would hit the side of this and reflect up onto the windshield, and the same with this side. But and it really wasn't, I mean, it was basically gone and not even noticeable, the reflection in the windshield once I did that. Okay, as long as I got you up here at the fuel tank, let's look at this gas cap magnet from Rick Rack. You just unscrew it, and then when you just put it on your ignition switch there, very convenient, and then you fuel up, and then when you're done fueling up, you just grab it right there, and then you screw your gas cap back down, and then you shut her. Very convenient just to have it, just to put it right there on your ignition switch. And we got the Harley Davidson brand long angled footrest. We got them on both sides here. What I do like about them is that the foot pegs fold up evenly with this thing here, and so they don't stick out all the time. And another thing I like about them is when you're sitting in the saddle like this, you can put your heel on the footboard itself and one foot on the foot peg itself. And you can do this, of course, on both sides. And also, if you want, you can just basically put them way out there like that. I'm 5'8", I weigh 180 pounds, and it's just perfect foot positions for me. And the footrests themselves are Uxel black streamliner highway pegs. They're made for Harley Davidsons, and if you look real close, which you probably can't see, I'll try to get it, but right down in this area behind here is a little set screw, and you can bottom these things out up higher if you want, or if you want to put them down lower, bottom them out so they don't go so far down. Some of them are, if you look at some bikes, they're hanging way too low, but this is able to adjust it to your preference or how you want those angled on you. Okay, let's talk about the Curakin lower fairing door panel pockets with magnetic closures. In here I got some reading glasses and just some cleaning tissue, and I will have to admit that sometimes when I'm riding, I'll reach down in there and grab my glasses and put them on while I'm riding if I need to read my instrument panel a little more clearly, something weird going on. And over here on the driver's side, or on the driver's side, on the right side, you got the same thing, and I've got my metal wallet in here. And in the hot weather, when it starts getting to 80 degrees or so, this thing will actually get warm, warm to the touch, but not hot, but warm. So in warm weather, I wouldn't be sticking any chapstick in there, and then that can melt. It's got a little mesh pocket back there too. I don't know why, but anyway, yeah, they work good, and they just kind of roll around there. That's how they go on, and then they just push on, snap the case on. But yeah, they work good. I really like them. Okay, let's talk about the rider backrest. When the passenger gets on, you just kind of flip these passenger armrests out of the way, and this thing just flaps forward like that, and your passenger can get on while this thing's down, and it just pops back up. And I installed the backrest and the bracket myself. The lever's right there, as you can see. This is the lever right here. This is the whole mechanism. And it just mounts underneath there, and it lifts. That's how you release it to go backwards or forwards. I'll show you how that all works underneath the seat. Yeah, so let's go into the seat there, and I'll show you real quick. Okay, most of you Harley Davidson riders already know this, but there's just a little button back here you push, and this rider's backrest comes off, and to put it on, you just snap it back into place like that, and it's back on. Now, all I want to do is get under the seat and show you what I got under there with that rider backrest bracket. Pull the seat off like that. And this is the bracket. It's rather large, but believe it or not, it's a big, huge thing, but it fits underneath the seat just perfect. And it's bolted on right here with 2 bolts, 1, 2, and then one on the side here, and then one on the side right there. And the lever is right here. The cable that goes down to the lever. It's routed down to there, down to the lever. And this is the hydraulic piston right here. which operates the whole thing. And as long as I got you back here, I'll show you this little modification I did. Instead of using the Harley Davidson back tab for the seat to secure it, I put my own little stud in there, and the tab can go around that thing and down, and it's not secured, but it stays in place because I take my seat off a lot. And the reason is to adjust my shocks right here. I use this thing, is screwed up. When the wife's on as a passenger, I'll screw it down to 15, and then when she gets off and I ride the next day, maybe by myself, I'll screw it back down to 7 or 8. And I mean, this really is a nice system for adjusting your shocks, and it really works. If I ride on my level, number 7, and she's on the back, she can tell. So yeah, so I take my seat off a lot to adjust the shocks, and that makes it really easy just to put the tab over it. And then when you're all done with what you got to do, you just put the seat back on, just wiggle it on, slap that little tab over the stud like that, grab your rider's backrest, and slam it in, and you're ready to go, just like flint. Okay, just 2 quick stories. I had the bike about a month or so, and my back was hurting all the time, and so I decided that I better try a rider backrest. So I went down to the local dealer and got the bracket, and I installed it, but they didn't have one of these. It was like 2 or 3 weeks out, but I was going on a 300-mile trip, so I took it, and on the way over, the first half of the trip, that's 300 miles one way, my back was hurting, so I just happened to be in the Seattle area, so I called a couple dealers, and they had one of these things, so I went over and got it, and I just slammed it in there because I already had the bracket installed, and on the way home, I used it, and oh man, my back problems went away. I mean, 95%, I already used 95%, 96% of my back problem went away, and I'm glad I got that thing. Another quick story. I was riding for an hour and a half on a freeway. I pulled over at a convenience store, pulled in the shade, put my backrest all the way back to the recline position, put my feet out like this, got my iPhone out like this, started playing on my iPhone just like this, and before I knew it, 35 minutes had passed, and holy mackerel, I got to get going. So I put my iPhone back on here, and I started my bike up, and away I went, and during that, I didn't even get off my bike. I mean, I did not even get off my bike. That's how comfortable it was just sitting on the bike. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the handlebars. Besides having the back issues straightened out with the rider backrest, I had a burning neck issue and a aching shoulder blade from the stock handlebars, so I ended up putting on new handlebars, and these are Chromeworks 2+2 narrow sweeper handlebars that are 2 inches higher than the stock ones, and they are 2 inches closer back towards the body. So when I first got them out of the shop, I wasn't sure that they were going to do the job, but oh, they did. No more burning neck muscle, no more shoulder blade muscle aching. These bars took care of it all. And besides all that, this thing turns a lot easier now, especially in the curves. It just turns like butter almost. Now I had the shop put them on. Now that I know what I know, when I first got this bike, I was kind of timid about getting into it myself. But now that I know a lot more about this motorcycle, yeah, I could do all this stuff myself. But at that time, I paid the shop to do all these things, which cost me an arm and a leg. I had to hawk my house and sell my children into slavery. Okay, let's talk a little bit about my iPhone mount here. It's a RAM mount with a snap-in RAM cradle. I really don't like the ones that clamp in like this. A personal preference. I just like the snap-in ones. But it's connected with a RAM mounting system with a U-bolt on the handlebar there. And I got it connected right here with the iPhone charger cord. And it comes out of the cigarette lighter plug there. That is a 1 foot long lightning cable, and the charger's a metal Qualcomm quick charger, 3.0 charger, 36 watts, dual ports. And we come out of there and we go over here to my stick-on 4-motion clock. I always like to know exactly what time it is, and a quick glance will tell you by looking at that. I know you can get it off the infotainment center, but that's just a quick look, and I like that better. Let's talk about the clear fender wrap I put on my fenders here to prevent rock chips. It goes up to this spot right here, and you can see where it ends right there. Yeah, I just put it on there to prevent rock chips. I took it up to the local body shop, and it cost me $119. Harley Davidson has their own version. It's a 5-piece kit, and it cost $134. But the guy, I didn't have very many miles on it, and the guy already told me I had 2 chips in the paint. And yeah, and this looks really dirty. It looks like it's all chipped up, but no, it's smooth as silk right there. It's just a reflection in the fender itself. But yeah, they prevent rock chips. Okay, let's talk about Harley Davidson's fender saddlebags. About $425, plus you got to pay for installation like I did. And then you pull them open, and just to give you an example, I put that in there. That's a half a gallon of Fairlife milk container. You can put all kinds of stuff in there. Water bottles fit real nice. And let's go around to the other side here, and I'll show you what I got in mine. Yeah, I just carry my hat, you know, my face mask, ooh, and some glasses, clear glasses, and I got some yellow ones down there. And I will admit that, you know, I go down the road at 60 miles an hour, and I will, if I don't have a shield on and I want to wear these padded glasses, I'll open this thing, and because you're kind of shielding the air, this thing doesn't move at all. It just kind of stays just like that, and you reach back in there with your backhand and grab your glasses out and pull them up and re-shut that thing and put your glasses on. Yeah, it works really good. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the Sena FreeWire. So I mounted the Sena FreeWire to my fender saddlebags with Velcro, and I put it in such a place where I could easily just reach around without looking and turn it on or off if I wanted to. And I routed the wire underneath the seat into the dedicated Harley-Davidson communication port. So now everything that comes, all the sound that comes out of the infotainment center goes down that wire, of course, and comes out the FreeWire, which is mounted right there. And of course the FreeWire transmit via Bluetooth to my new Sena 20S communicator that's mounted on the side of my helmet. For years I used the Sena SM-H10 to communicate with other bikers and my wife. My wife rode her bike and I rode my bike, and so it worked really good. But when I bought this Harley Davidson and I hooked up the FreeWire, I found out that this thing doesn't have microphone capabilities, meaning that when I had my phone hooked to the infotainment center and the incoming call came in, I could hear the people really good, but I couldn't talk back because it didn't have microphone capabilities. So I couldn't do that, nor could I give the infotainment center any voice commands. So upon doing a bunch of research, I found out that I needed to buy a Sena 20S, which has microphone capabilities when it's hooked up to the FreeWire. So now when I get an incoming call and I hear the people, I can talk back to them, and I can give some voice commands to the infotainment center also. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the Harley Davidson passenger armrest. They got a little storage pocket right on both sides, have that, and they tilt out like that, and they're mounted to the body with bolts, drilled holes. I didn't, the shop did, and they're, well, some guys were complaining that they're too loose, and I agree with them, and some guys say, oh no, mine's fine, there's nothing wrong with mine. Well, I understand why now. This one here's a little better. It doesn't quite spin around as bad, but it does. But what the problem is you go like this. Let me pull this guy out of here. There. Now this is the culprit right here. It's how they machine them. Sometimes they machine them a little thicker, and sometimes thinner. And I think majority of the guys get them thin. The guys that don't have any problem with them spinning so much is because of this thing right here. And so I've tried a few things to try to stop it to do that, but I haven't found it out yet. I'm going to still work on it some more. But the wife loads them really well. A little storage pockets in there and all that good stuff. So. Okay, let's talk about the rear luggage rack. I really didn't want one for a long time, and finally I kept looking at it. Yeah, maybe I will. So I went ahead and bought one from the Harley-Davidson dealer, and they already have places pre-marked underneath your lid here to drill, so you just had to drill the holes and they fit perfect. I do like it when I'm alongside the road and I take off my gear, maybe my pants or something, I'll lay them across there. Or my helmet, I'll put my helmet on there, just to keep it off the ground and stuff. Okay, let's take a look at this accessory here. This is the Tour Pack trunk lid organizer. This thing right here. Let me get a little better shot on it up here. Let's go. This is the same. I spit an image one of the one Harley Davidson sells for $159. I got it on eBay for $42. But I wanted this configuration where the flaps come down right here. I got my gloves in here. I got other stuff in here. I got my heated gear equipment, rheostats in here, and other wiring. And it attaches to the back of this lid with adhesive strips, big, long, thick adhesive strips all the way across. And I set it in there and let it set for a couple days before I used it, so I made sure it adhered really good. But my biggest concern was this right here. And let me move the camera up just a tad bit here. My biggest concern was, will that Tour Pack lid organizer allow me still to put my helmets in there and still close the lid and lock it up right here? And the answer is yes. My 2 3/4 face helmets will fit in here, and I can still close this lid with no problem, and it still locks up really good. And when I ride by myself, I usually move all this stuff out of the way here and put my helmet here, and oh my gosh, that has to be ate up right away. Hey, I'll be right back, okay? Okay, so I'm back now, and they make another Tour Pack organizer that goes around the inside rim of this thing right here, and it's made of the same type of material. It's got little pockets and stuff, but I knew if I got one of those, I wouldn't be able to set my helmets in here because it would be just too crowded in there. Okay, while I was over in Seattle and bought that rider's backrest, I went ahead and purchased these Harley Davidson brand cargo bags for $114. You can get similar products on eBay for about $40 to $50, but they just slide in there real nice. You can hold about 2 to 3 days worth of clothing. The wife and I, we pack pretty light, but they just slide in there ever so nicely. And after you get them in there, you got about this much room on the side here, back in there, to put some more stuff. And if you put stuff on the top, you got about this much room across on the top for storage, and the same down on the other side. And you got a little bit of storage here in the front. And you got a zippered pocket here to quick access if you open the back back lid there. I thought about buying a storage lid organizer similar to the one I have on the Tour Pack up there, but it would stick up too high and it would impede these things from getting them out all the time. But yeah, we really like them, and I'm glad we bought them. Okay, so this is a big piece of machinery. It's powerful and it's fast, and so I appropriately named it La Machine. Okay, it's getting a little dark out here. I'm running out of time, but this is a BSX aluminized back pad made in the USA. You can get these at any welding shop for about $22 and above. But welders use them to put on their forearm like this for when they weld, that this don't get really hot and burn them. So I knew about these, so I thought, why can't I apply this to my leg when I'm riding this bike in 80 plus degree, 80, 90, 100 degree weather? Because as you guys know, that this right side can get extremely hot starting about 82, 83 degrees, and especially when it gets up into the hundreds. You can't put a lot of times it gets so hot, your leg, you can't put your foot on the footboard. You got to move it off somewhere and get it off there because it gets so hot. So I decided to try one of these, and what I did was I snipped the elastic that the welders use, and I applied my own sewing job to the Velcro, which, don't you guys say anything about my sew job, it's not all that good. But yeah, so you put it on your leg, and it gets warm. These are really thick, by the way. These things get warm, but not hot, not even close to being hot. And so you're able now to put your foot on the footboard, even in 100 degree weather and above, because this just reflects that heat away from your leg. Okay, so here's my heat shield. These pipes put out a lot of heat. 80 degrees plus, 100 degrees, they put out some heat, and they've been known to really burn your leg, very uncomfortable. So you move your leg all over the place, but however, you put this heat shield on, and it dissipates the heat, and this thing gets warm, yeah, but it doesn't get through to your leg, and you're able to put your foot and keep it on the footboard in 100 degree weather, 105 degree weather. Not an issue anymore. Okay, so for $55, I bought this dust cover, and that's all it is a dust cover. I would never put it in the wind anywhere, maybe in your garage, which I plan on doing, and that's it. But I had to put my own grommet hole in here for the antenna, so the antenna could go through. But it's elastic all the way down the bottom in the back to the fenders, and then it's not elastic, but it goes right down to the ground, and then it has elastic around the front wheel down here like this, and it's Nelson rigged, and it's an extra large. Remember, I have that 15-inch windshield.